morning, everyone. Today we are going to see the continued topic that is sequencing. I'm going to share the screen. So in the earlier class, we have discussed about scheduling and sequencing. Sequencing, we have given an introduction. So normally in the scheduling, volume systems, in the low volume systems, the loading and assignments of job to process centers will be there. After that, sequencing, determining the order in which jobs will be processed, that is called sequencing. After that, job shop scheduling will be there. They are scheduling for low volume systems with many variations in requirements. So job shop will be at the time of doing a job, means doing an activity, we will be moving for a schedule. So loading, sequencing and scheduling will be there. That is the job shop. Gun chart, how it will be there, how we are going to load the jobs. So this chart is used as a visual aid for loading and scheduling. You can see the work center over here. First work center, second, third, and fourth. Here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So here in the work center one, job 3 will be on Monday and on third on Tuesday and fourth on Thursday. Fifth we don't have. The sixth job and seventh job. Seventh job will be done on Wednesday and Friday also. And we have job them. So some example how the jobs will be scheduled. This scheduling, this chart will be showing us the schedule of our jobs. So in production, we are going to use a chart which is going to show how the scheduling and loading will be done. We have loading 3 types, 4 types, that is infinite loading. Jobs are assigned to the work centers without regard for the capacity of the work center. Infinite means we are not going to check whether it is capable of doing that work or not. Compulsory, we are going to load it. And finite loading, jobs are assigned to the work center taking into account the work center capacity and job processing times. So here, finite loading means according to their capacities, the jobs will be sent to that. Vertical and horizontal loading, this is also happens. So vertical loading means in a sequence, they will be going from left to right, and horizontal, they will be going along with their priorities. If you go with the priorities, can anyone unmute yourself? Can you able to see the screen? I think
Yes, sir.
there was a break. Okay. So forward scheduling ahead from some point in time. We have backward scheduling by working backwards in the time from the due dates. So forward scheduling means we will be looking for the future dates. Future dates means mostly in future dates means we are going to schedule not today or yesterday. We will be going from tomorrow and day after tomorrow and next week. If you are planning, that will be the forward schedule. Backward scheduling is backwards in the time from the due dates. So due date we have given, then we have to On 15th we have given the date to deliver some goods to a particular customer. So the delivery date is, the due date is 15, and we have to start working from today. That is the planning, that scheduling they are going to. So forward scheduling and backward scheduling, this is an and scheduling a chart. Earlier we have seen that is Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a chart where we can see all the jobs which are in the progress, and what we have scheduled also we can see in that chart. So in operation management, we are going to use n number of charts, n number of algorithms, n number of what you call flow charts. We can see how the machine is going to work, and these all things we are going to have some pictorial representation. You would have seen in any workshop or a lab, they are going to keep some charts on the walls in order to know how this machine works, how the processing will be there, because now and then they will be checking the workers. If their shift is changed, they are going to see that. If they are from other departments newly, if they have come, they can check out that. So charts are very much necessary in our operations management. So, sequencing, job sequencing introduction we have seen earlier class, that is determining the order in which the jobs at the work center will be processed. So, if we want to process, then we need to sequence it. So workstation, an area where one person works usually with special equipment on a special job. Means a man on a machine. That is a workstation. We have so many machines over there. Priority rules, simply heuristics used to select the order in which jobs will be processed. So we have n number of jobs. So we need to know which job we have to do in the first and second, third, and we have to finish off. And that job we have to match with the machines. And while matching with the machines, we need to see the capacities. And if it is a infinite node loading, no need to see, because infinite means we are not going to take into consideration the capacities, the work hours, this whole thing. Just we are going to push the jobs and they will be doing on. In the finite loading, we are going to see the capacities of the workstation and that particular machines, then we are going to schedule it. So in sequencing, wherever you see some priority of rules will be there. Yesterday we have seen in that class the timing into consideration, job time needed for a setup a processing a job. So priority rules, in the last class we have seen the first come, first serve. It means who is going to come first, they will be served first. The priority, how the jobs we are going to undertake, any activity or work in a workstation, or we are going to schedule according to some priority rule. This is one rule. Some people will follow this first come first serve basis. Shortest processing time, if it is very shortest processing time, that we are going to take into consideration first, then we will be going into the next. EDD, earliest due date. So we are going to see in a month we have so many jobs. We have given some delivery time and dates to everyone. In that, the first day was on 15th, 20, 25, 30, 31. Then in this, what we are going to do means in the first 15th date that we are going to finish, then 20th, then 25th, then 30th, then 31st. So that is the earliest due date that we are going to take into consideration. Critical ratios. Critical ratios is about the complex job. If it is very critical, that percentage of criticalness that we are going to see. Example, if you are preparing for an examination, we have some 5 or 6 subjects. In that, the most critical you are going to study first, then you are going to finish off, then critical 1, 2, 3 priority basis you will be doing. So this is another way of prioritizing the job. Slack per operation. Slack means the idle time. In this operation, we need so much of idle time we need to have. Example, if we want to take up any work that is regarding automobiles, in automobile servicing we are doing. Yeah, there we could find some electricity non-power, some gap in the power, indicators are not coming, the light is coming. This is the work of a electrician. So we have to stop that work and we have to call the electrician, then he is going to check the battery levels and these all things he is going. The electrician, once he find out that the battery is not working, then this battery we have to take to some other place, then we have to recharge or we have to get the new one. So what is happening here? Slack per operation, some idleness is working. Actually the bike has come for the servicing, but there when we have taken out, we have got some few problems, that is electricity problem, we have got that person, then delayed, we have kept aside, then he is going to clear up, then battery, the changes battery charging, then we have to connect it. After that we got some break, uh, that is a break of some iron piece or work piece, anything we need to have welding. So again we have to keep aside the servicing, we have to take that particular part and to the gas welding, we have to make it welding, that is a joint, that is clearing of cracks, again we have to get, so some slacks in the operation. So in the delays in the mechanic who is want to serve that particular bike, he has kept that bike in the idle and he will be looking of another. So the slack times, the slack operation taking into consideration, that is another priority of rules. The rush emergency, you would have seen in hospitals we have the 24 hours emergency, and we have the emergency there, we will be not asking to fill a form and we have to take registration, we have to take permit, we have to attend the OP, from there only admission, these all rules will not be there. Emergency means emergency, without rules they will be taking directly, they will be giving the first aid, and after that this all everything will happen. But in the normally first aid will not be done, they will be taking to OP, then from OP if it is a critical or thing, they are going to check, they are going to measure, they are going to take all the or test they will be doing, and this. So that is a rush and emergency is a priority rule. If it is a urgent work. So these are the priorities how you are going to take into consideration of the job. Though first come first serve basis, shortest time, that is earlier due date, critical ratio, slacks per operation, and rush and emergency operation will be on top priority. You would have seen an ambulance moving on the road, there will be no traffic rules, the traffic will be moved aside, the ambulance moves away. So that is the rush and emergency. Top priority we are going to. If an minister is coming, convoy is going, then they are going to stamp the traffic, then traffic, because minister is going to work for us, he will be urgent on the meeting, he has to go and attend n number of meetings. If he is going to held up, then it is very difficult. Some people they think that we have voted that particular person and he is not waiting at the what you call traffic, and we have to wait. That is n number of jobs, that is the priority how we are going to give top priorities. So in our production also, we will be looking into priority rules. Some assumptions of priority rules. The setup of jobs is known. We need to know the setup of the jobs. Setup time is independent of processing sequence, and setup time is deterministic. There will be no interruption in processing such as machine breakdowns, accidents, worker illness. So here assumptions means we have to assume that setting up jobs is known. I mean, so all jobs what you are learning, we need to have some idea about that particular job which we are going to undertake. Setup time is independent of processing sequence. Just we are going to say that if any person comes, we will be taking some 2 days time in order to complete. But we could not measure that actually how much time will be taking for doing that particular job. It is independent of processing sequence, we will be setting a time 2 days. Actually if you are going to see that it will be done in 1 day only, but we are going to take more time because this rush, emergency, any breakdowns, these interruption may be there in the assumption, so that they are going to say that this setup time is deterministic. So we are going to determine a time for a job. So a job is done. So exam for three hours. Now it's a COVID time. Exam is for 2 hours. They have reduced the time. So keeping in view that no one will be ill, no accidents will be there, no machine breakdowns will be there, that we have to set up a time. If there is a machine breakdown, like while taking the examination papers, and the photocopying may be delayed for 10 minutes, then what we are going to do, we are going to increase the 10 minutes, we are going to add the 10 minutes to that end time. Means now 2 hours 10 minutes will be the exam time. Why? Because 10 minutes have been delayed. So there will be no interruption in processing, so that we'll say that it will be 2 hours of exam. But normally, if anything happens, machine breakdowns or work illness, there will be a delay in the time. So while taking the assumption, while estimation, while planning, we should not take these interruptions into processing time, means setting up a time. So we have a rule in two work centers sequencing. We have a rule called Johnson's rule that we are going to see. Technique for minimizing completion time for a group of jobs to be processed on two machines or at two work centers. So while sequencing the jobs, we have a rule that is minimizing the completion time. That minimum times we will be taking and we will be making the sequence. So it's a Johnson's rule. Minimizing the total idle time. This rule is used in order to reduce the total idle time. So if you want to reduce this, compulsory you need to do something. So here Johnson rule that we will be solving the problems in the next class. In that, how this Johnson rule is applied in order to make the sequence of jobs. We have priorities, as you have seen, the first come first serve basis, and we had a shortest processing time, earliest due date, and we had a rush and emergency. So these are top priorities. Apart from this, we have this Johnson rule that we are going to see now. The rule condition: job time must be known constraint, known, and it should be constant. And job times must be independent of sequence. And job must follow same two-step sequence, means two job priorities cannot be used here. See that Johnson rule never uses the top priority what we have discussed. If you are using that priorityness, no need to use this Johnson rule. So in Johnson rule, we are not going to take job priorities. So here the rule is there in order to minimize the time here. Why we are going to use the Johnson rule means in order to reduce the completion time. We may be in the first come first some basis, there may be delayed in the shortest process time while picking up the jobs. The time idle time will be there, and slack operations while taking that consideration, may be the completion time may be delayed. So here if you want to minimize the completion time, that is processing time, we should not use the job priorities. So we have to follow the Johnson rule. All units must be completed at the first work center before moving to the second. See here. So if you are going to work that is the machine one, machine two, machine three or there, the inputs will be moving from machine one to machine two to machine three. It cannot move from machine 2 to 3, 3 to coming back to the 1. So here we are going to use a sequencing that all units will be moving from a first work center, then it will move to the second and third. Once it is going to complete, then it will be moving forward. This is the rules of conditions of Johnson rule. Optimum sequence. Optimum is the best sequence, how we can make through Johnson. The list the jobs, their times at each work center, select the job with the shortest time. Here while sequencing, the first rule in the Johnson rule is the shortest time that we have to pick up first, eliminate the job from the further consideration. So if you have four jobs, job 1 take 2 minutes, job 2 will take 3 minutes, job 4 will take 4 minutes, job 5 will take 3 minutes. Like that, if you are going to keep in this, what is the shortest time? That is job one, it was of 2, that we are going to consider first. Then out of these three, again we are going to see the less time that we are going to pick up. Out of these two, we are going to pick up the shortest. So this, in the next class we will be solving some through examples how we are going to sequence this. But the rule is, select the job with the shortest time first, eliminate the job from the sequence, net repeat these 2 or 3 steps until the jobs have been scheduled. I said we have 5 jobs. Example, we think that this is 1 minute, 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So we are going to pick up the first, which we have to pick up, that is the sequence one. And within this four, which is the least one, two that we are going to pick up. And in this three, that is the least one we are going to pick up. As I have given example that we have in the sequence of jobs, we have the sequence of time is there, so that we can pick up like this. But if job one is 2 minutes, job three is 5 minutes, job four is 1 minute, which one we are going to pick up? The least one, job phone, we are going to pick up first, then job one, then job three. So that is a rule that we will be seeing. That is how we are going to sequence the job in operations management according to Johnson. So we have some difficulties. Variability in setup times means variations will be there. Processing times also may be different from each machine to machines. Interruptions may be there. Sudden breakout, sudden earthquake, sudden floods may be there interruptions. Changes in set of jobs means the job one is removed. Then we have to do only sequence for remaining that. So scheduling difficulties will be there. No method for identifying optimum schedule. There is no hard and fast rule. There is no what you call a theory that says that this is the best schedule. So we have to do like type priorities you take and do the job, or take the Johnson rule and follow that. So there is no rule that is this is very good scheduling. This we have to follow this method. So there is no method for identifying optimum schedule. It depends on the manager how he is going to do. Scheduling is not an exacting science. So we are going to do our ongoing task for a manager. It suggests we have to do that. So how to minimize? Set realistic due dates, focus on bottleneck, where are the problem, try to pick up. Consider lot splitting of large jobs. So we have to split the job in smaller way, then we'll try to do that. So in this way we are going to see the sequencing. So in the sequencing, top priorities you can take, or you have to follow the Johnson rule. In the next class we are going to see that how Johnson rule is applied, the examples we are going to see. That is up to this class. So if you have any queries, you can come up.